so you go to Portland State. You were there from '97 to '98.
Yeah.
You make that you're saying, Mom, I'm going to that college over there. I'm going, flying over. And so, what was the first experience there here in Portland that you had that you can remember?
Well, it was a culture shock going from Daytona Beach, Florida to Santa Barbara.
Okay.
But it was even more of a culture shock going from Santa Barbara to Portland. And I have to be honest with you. I mean, I passed geography class and everything, but when they said Portland State, when I was told, there's a cool story about this though. I was sitting on the couch watching the Buffalo Bills play the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, a Miami team, right?
For some reason, the Miami Dolphins, even though they weren't my team, they've been instrumental in my process.
Right.
The Miami Dolphins were playing the Buffalo Bills, and Derrick Holmes was a rookie running back for the Buffalo Bills. And I just remember watching this game, and they just kept mentioning Derrick Holmes from Portland State University. And I remember as a sophomore in college going, where the heck is Portland State?
That's
University.
You're thinking that, going, what? Geography-wise, where is this?
Geography-wise, to me, Portland was Maine back east.
Right, sure.
You know, it wasn't here in Portland. But anyways, I watched that game, and then Monday, so this was on a Sunday, that Monday, I'm in the weight room, and I get a call from Coach Melendez. Art, come down to the football office. There's a college coach that wants to talk to you. I walked down to the football office, and this is a coach from Portland State University, Bob Cole from Portland State University. And I went, you have got to be kidding me. And so I learned that Nike was in Portland. And I went, and I always wanted to work for Nike. And I said, if he does not have a swoosh on his shirt, if they're not sponsored by Nike, I'm not going to that school.
Interesting. The brand, right? Yeah.
And so sure enough, I walked downstairs, and this dude has a big swoosh on his shirt. And
that sold you. I mean, that was part of it.
It was part of it. It was part of it.
Yeah.
But he and I
got to know him a little bit.
Had a good conversation and stuff like that.
Which is important because again, you're trying to find out about the team. They have interest in you, but again, you're trying to find out how could they utilize me, right? You're thinking of that. But then also, did academics fall into play too that you were looking for?
I didn't really. Well, I thought academically for myself based on climate.
Okay.
And there was other colleges that were recruiting me out of JC. There was UCLA, there was San Diego State, there was San Jose State, University of Hawaii, Arizona.
Wow.
Like I had some big schools, you know, but Portland State was pretty much the smallest school.
Oh yeah.
There was, you know, the University of Idaho was just kind of moving out of the big sky.
Right.
But Portland State was technically the smallest school. But they were the first school to approach me as in my second wave of being a football player.
Football player, right.
And just the fact that all I heard on a Sunday was about Portland State, and then Portland State showed up on a Monday. It just felt like destiny.
Well, and also it had a nice flow to it. You know, it really did. I think the thing is too, when you look at where, you know, you look at the past offers and then you see where you're at currently. This is a team that was interested in you, and that had to say something with you and resonate with you in some way.
Yeah.
So, was there a difference as far as being the wide receiver? You played wide receiver for both schools. Was there a difference in philosophy as far as what Santa Barbara was doing and then Portland State?
Yeah, Santa Barbara was like high school.
Okay.
Everything was numbered.
Okay.
You know, you knew that a 3 route was a go route.
Okay.
You know, a 2 route was a slant.
Right.
You know, a 1 was a hitch. You know, you just knew that according to, I mean, that's pretty basic. And so.
Can I be right to say that Portland State was more of an up-tempo at the time?
No, it was more West Coast.
West Coast, yeah.
So there was no leaving the huddle when you hear your number.
Okay.
So, you know, you might hear, in JC, it might be Twins, right, goal 93.
Yeah, right.
And you knew, oh, I got a 3 route. So, you know, you just run a 3 route.
Okay.
9 was a 3-step drop, you know.
Right. But at Portland State.
But at Portland State, it was Zach Zipper right, 362.
Wow.
Razor. So you had to be in the huddle for the whole
You had to catch it all. You had to catch the whole play. You couldn't
like,
just go, I heard a snippet of it, and then I know I have an idea what it is. Wow, interesting.
So it was a tough transition for me, actually, football wise. I mean, I went from statistically one of the better players in JC. I think my sophomore year I scored almost 20 touchdowns.
Wow.
And then I went from that to scoring 2 touchdowns.
Oh, what did that do as a player?
Yeah,
psychologically, that you honestly start to second guess maybe the move in a sense. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. When I got here, there was a senior in my, me and another senior played the same position. And I didn't understand football politics.
Right.
Or college politics at the time.
Right.
And I say that not to put a damper on how college football runs. But the guy that was in front of me was a senior. And so I come in thinking, he's a senior, so he's going to play. I'm going to end up just playing behind him. I'm not thinking I'm coming in penciled in as a starter. So I'm really trying to relieve myself of the pressure of being a starter. And I remember asking Coach Cole if I could redshirt. And he just looks right at me almost before I can get it all the way out of my mouth. He goes, nope, you can't. No, you cannot.
Oh, wow.
You cannot. And I had 3 years to play too, so I could have redshirted. But he said, no, you can't redshirt. And I just remember I arrived in Portland, Oregon on July 29th, 1997.
He remembers the date. Yeah.
July 29th, 1997.
Yeah.
And we were in practice literally September 1st. And I just remember looking at that playbook going, what the heck is this? Terminology. Because my football IQ wasn't that great.
Right.
But my football abilities were bigger than
that
my
is
IQ.
what kind of balanced it in a sense for you. But when you're talking about, and we know, I mean, the playbook in itself is a design playbook for that offense, and it has to be understood. As a player, you have to understand that, because if you don't, you honestly see people pass you.
Right.
And they get playing time.
Right.
Wow.
And so it was tough for me. It was a tough transition, and then to have to prep our first game of the season in 1997 was against Fresno State.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And now I'm penciled in as a starter. And PSU didn't even have a wide receiver screen in the playbook before I got here.
Nothing of that. Wow.
Nothing. But in junior college, I scored a whole bunch of touchdowns
off of
on
that
the wide
play.
Receiver scheme. So they put it in, and that's the first play we're running in the game against.
Okay, so take a step back here. You're talking about a person that's saying, kind of questioned himself for 2 touchdowns, whatever. But now you're playing Fresno State. They've now installed a screen for you, a really monumental play that you had previously at your other college you played for. Boy, your heart had to have been pumping.
Oh, yeah.
You were nervous.
I hyperventilated. And I just wanted to make sure I caught the ball.
Right.
And so I remember it like it was yesterday. I catch the ball, I get about 18, 19 yards, and then I just run straight to the sideline because I can't breathe. I just can't breathe because I'm so.
Wow.
And then I come out and I catch a couple more passes, and I'm like, oh man, I can play on this level.
You're getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
But as the season goes on, again, with the low football IQ that I had, I realized that everybody on the team and everybody on the teams that I'm playing against, they were high school All-Americans too. They were, some of them that went to JC, they were JC All-Americans as well.
I want to hit something on that, Art, is that, what would you say to a player just coming out of high school, they're getting into college now, what do you think is the most important piece to that when they make that transition from high school sports? Now they're having to learn a playbook, and now they're having to learn a new system. What do you think, mention it to our viewers, what do you think is very important when it comes to a player like that who's being recruited?
I think that it's important for the player to be coachable.
Okay.
Because the person you think you are as a high school player, the identity that you've embraced, you find out real quick that is not really the identity that you're going to have in college.
Interesting concept there.
Yeah. So because you line up against a DB from a wide receiver standpoint, you line up against a DB in high school, and your attitude is that no cornerback can guard me man to man.
Period.
That's just the attitude you want to have.
Right.
And then you get to college, and all of a sudden you can't get off the line of scrimmage in man press. Why? Because that guy on the other side said when he was in high school that no wide receiver will catch a pass on me in press coverage.
Wow.
But then he got to college and he realized that, okay, these guys are good because he's playing with a guy that was there a year before.
Right.
And so now he's that much better.
He was pushed.
Yeah.
He was pushed to be better.
He's better. I mean, that was my experience anyways.
Wow.
And I could not get off the line of scrimmage.
So could you say that a person like that, they have to lose that sense of entitlement in a way when it comes from high school? Because in high school, we were talking on our show, in fact, the Fat Show was talking about, especially recruiting now, is that these 4-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star recruits, we've seen examples where these are 5-star recruits. They make it to the next level.
And they don't pan out.
They don't pan out. Could you say that is part of the process, is that understanding the playbook but not getting to a sense of like, I need to work on my game, on my weaknesses?
Yeah, it's that, but it starts with the coach,
the
high school coach.
Right.
If you got a player who is dynamic and that you see his potential, I think it's your responsibility as his coach to help him see that potential, to help him understand that potential, and to help him walk through this whole process with some humility. And
you use that word humility.
Yeah.
Important word.
Yeah.
Because again, you start looking at yourself as humility, you look at your own weaknesses as something that I need to improve in, right? Improve on.
What I did with my players is we'd have Monday meetings. And Monday meetings wouldn't be about football. It would just be about life.
Right.
It would be about going into the next level.
Right.
The next big thing. The plan B, because football's one hit and football can be over for you. And
so again, that's when we talk about after Portland State, you're now then having to, what did Art change into after, having that experience at Santa Barbara, now Portland State? What was it that drove you? Currently, you are a co-owner, right, of Champions Barbershop here locally in Portland, Oregon. But what was it that really helped and guide you after those experiences? And again, the Fat Show likes to focus in from the beginning and what that process was in the middle, and to really where you are at now. What was it that really drove you? That the certain characteristics of what you experienced that made you the person that Art Williams is today?
Oh man, it was just a lot of failure, believe it or not. I mean, and failure is not a bad thing when you can bounce back from it.
Right.
But it was all my experiences in college of some of the mistakes that I made, the football experiences, how I had to learn to be a better player, how I had to learn to be a better person. We talk about that because it's not only the player on the field, it's the player off the field as well, as much as important. I think that's the most important part, who you are off the field. Because if you see your identity just through football, or like a football player, then you never really take an opportunity to learn who you are. Because football does not love you. You love it, but it doesn't love you. Wow. And so for me, it was just going through that process and understanding, light bulb clicks that, okay, football doesn't love me. I love football, but it doesn't love me because my football career just ended with a concussion. Wow. If football loved me, football wouldn't have hurt me like that, kind of thing. That was my mentality. And when we speak concussion, we are talking about a very sensitive subject. When we're talking about the NFL, we're talking about kids in some of the Pop Warner leagues and things like that. We have parents that are really concerned. I think the equipment has changed a lot, which I don't think protects the player, but it makes the game faster because the players are bigger and faster. Faster, right. But I think that the rules that they're setting in, the techniques, the tackling techniques now that are in place have decreased. There's been like a 20% decrease in concussions this past season, which is great. I like how you talk about that because I think technique is important and you start that in practice, right? Every day. Hip level and how you tackle, how you're wrapping. And the other thing is the helmet is not a weapon. No.
I mean, that's the thing that
but
we're
it
seeing.
used to be when we played.
Yes.
It used to be the first weapon.
Right, exactly.
And so we're teaching that now. We're coaching that now to use your shoulders. And I actually thought we'd see more shoulder injuries than we would see head injuries, which we haven't seen. I mean, there's a decrease in head injuries and not many shoulder injuries.
Yeah, shoulder separation, sort of that. Because you're leading with the shoulder.
So I mean,
but really, it's the wrapping up. It's the using of the hands and the arms and being able to take the player down in a sense from that standpoint.
Right. Which you have seen more injuries like torn biceps, torn pectorals.
Right, because it's momentum going one direction, the other momentum's taken another way, and so who wins that battle? Interesting to say. But Westland High School now. Last year was quite a year.
Yes, sir.
It was quite a year. Hence a little bit of something there from
piece of jewelry.
Yeah, piece of jewelry, right? So evidence of that year. Very special year. What made that so special for you, Westland High School, winning the state title? 14-0, right?
14-0.
Right.
I always forget that part. When I think about it, I'm like, man, we won the state championship.
You always have to remind yourself, right?
But we won 14 games.
Right.
And if you, and so it was just one of those surreal moments. But the season, we came in with a mentality that we were going to be great, that we wanted to be great. Our motto was strive for greatness, but settle for perfection. I mean, strive for perfection, but settle for greatness.
That's an interesting motto there. That's
marinate
important.
in greatness.
Right.
And so that's the way we practiced every day. We practiced with that same mentality every day. And we came out and we just executed. Coaches really did a good job of putting together a game plan to put kids in the right positions to make plays.
That's key.
Yeah.
I've always heard that saying. It's that moment to where you say you get to a squad or you get to a team that coach is instrumental on your development and what you're able to do and playing time. Let's be very clear about that. But I think, again, you had players on that squad. What were some players that you had on that squad from the 14-0 squad?
14-0 squad, like a Jake Myson, who was a receiver. He came to me. I worked with Jake in the offseason. And Jake played behind Connor Bergeron, who's now at University of Oregon.
Oh, wow, okay.
And Connor Bergeron put up 2,200 yards or 2,000 yards, 22, 23 touchdowns.
Right.
And so Jake Myson comes in and has to take his place the next season.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But you're working. You're working him.
But I'm working with him.
Yeah, and
he tells me in the offseason, he goes, Coach, I want to be first team all league. I want to be first team all state.
Give him with goals. Yeah.
And I want to go to college.
Oh, wow.
Kid scores 20 touchdowns. He plays. I wish Jake was here right now. He played the championship game with 103-degree temperature. No lie.
Wow.
No,
that is impressive.
I would not lie to you.
That is impressive. Because you got all that gear on and you're sweating. I mean, it's like...
every time he comes to the sideline, I'm handing them Gatorade, But I just remember calling that young kid because I knew there was nothing in the world that was going to keep that kid out of playing in this game unless he had a broke hand or a broke leg or something.
Right.
And I just called him up and I just told him I was praying for him and I hope that he can play on that Saturday. And it wasn't me being one of those coaches that was thinking, man, we really need Jake.
Right.
Because I was always told as a coach, you're only as good as the second team player.
Wow. So, Art, it's been a pleasure to have you with us. Check out Westland High School football. We have Art Williams here. And I think they're going to be doing some special things next year, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so do catch them. Come to a game, meet Art. I'm sure he'd be happy to meet you when he has time not coaching. But we appreciate you being on the show, on the Fat Show, Art, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you bet. So this is Kevin with the Fat Show. We appreciate you viewing in and seeing our local content here. Tune back to us if you can. We look forward to giving you more exciting content in the future. Thank you very much for watching.